All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studio this evening, and we're gonna paint. Where's it at? This old clunker up there. When I originally saw this, I thought this was a Cadillac. It had that beautiful fin on there, and then I kind of had to realize that's not a Cadillac. That's something different. Either way, it's kind of a cool little angle on this old classic car. So thank you for joining me as we get ready to paint this. Let me go through the supplies that I've got. The paper that I'm using here is Fabriano paper. My brushes, I'm back to using my King Art paint brushes. These are the 90-20 series pointed round brushes. I love these brushes. And my studio paint set over here are all M. Graham paints. I am going to go ahead and start mixing up some paint and get going on this. You all out there, if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. I love talking to people. I love answering questions. So please let me know what is on your mind. I'm just going to mix up a little bit of a soupy little bit of cerulean blue. Looks like it's got a little bit of whatever that green is mixed in there. That's going to be fine. Just a nice mixture of it. And I've lowered this car down on my page, so I'm going to have quite a bit of sky up here. And I'm just going to layer that on with some wet. I think you should be able to see it. It's got a little bit of color. Let me know how this is looking to you, not necessarily the painting. It's a little out of focus, I think. Come on back in focus. There you are. I have some new lights, or new to me anyways, lights in the studio this evening. And the color is of these lights is just a little bit different than it has been. So let me know if you can see this better or worse than other weeks. Now we're getting a few people coming in here now, so I'm going to make the same call that I make every week. If you're coming in here and you want to make this interactive, and I hope you do, just like I do, then please say hello. Let me know where you're from, if you're a watercolor painter or not. If you want to be a watercolor painter, feel free to ask me whatever questions you like. My life is pretty much an open book. I like to talk about anything. Natalie is here. Hello. Only here for a couple of minutes. Okay. Neat old car. Thank you. It is kind of a neat old car. I was kicking around trying to, before I can get into that, let me say thank you for stopping by even when you can. It's always good to see you on the stream. So thanks for stopping by. And, if we're here when you get back, that's cool too. Carrie is here from Australia. Welcome, Carrie. Good to see you back on the stream again. I was kicking around yesterday, trying to figure out what to paint. And I spent, about a good 40 minutes or so looking at a whole bunch of different images. And I got this one on... what is it? Pixabay, I think is the name of it, is Pixabay. Well, actually, I kind of like that. I like how that that blends in there. We don't have just a general sky that comes down. I'm going to leave that white in there. Maybe that's like a really soft cloud back there. I'm going to leave that. That looks nice. But I got this on Pixabay, and I was deciding what to do, and I probably looked on there and on PMP Art for honestly the better part of an hour or so to find an image that I like. And this one kind of struck me after a while. I really like this image, so I decided to grab it, and so this is what we're going to do this evening. There we go. We got some kind of cool darks and lights up in here. It's going to be a nice sky when it dries. It'll lighten a little bit. after that. And that's the easy part. Now is when it's going to start getting harder. We're going to decide what we want to do with the colors on this car. It's kind of a two-tone car. Down here is kind of this maroonish burgundy color down here. And up on the top, it looks like a black color, and it's got this white top. I don't really like always painting with black. I think we're going to try to experiment with making some of our own. I'm going to make a little space for that right now. I wouldn't normally mix this color down in the bottom bit of my palette. I hope you can see that. Can you see that? There it is. Let me move that up just a little bit. But I'm going to put it down in the bottom bit of my palette. Let me do this. How about this? I wouldn't normally mix my dark colors down here, but that happens to be where I have the actual black at. So then I can just add that as kind of a cheat if I ever need to. I'll get that back on there. Carrie, Natalie, I hope you guys have had a good week. My week has been pretty good. I probably could complain about something, but I certainly won't complain. And while I'm talking about my week being not bad, I'm going to mix up, this is a little bit of maroon perylene and a little bit of burnt umber. Here, those two go together and make a wonderful rusty color. I could probably put a little bit of extra water in there. Really get some of that color on my brush and mix them together. Makes a wonderful rusty, warm brown, reddish brown color. Really like that. So I want to have some of that pre-mixed because you can see there are a couple of rust spots on there. Let me do this. There you go. You can see there's a couple of big rust spots. There's one big rust spot on the top of that trunk. And along that rear quarter panel, right on the edge of that fin, there's a whole bunch of rust there. So we're going to have some fun painting a little bit of rust. Let me come back to this so you can see what I'm doing. Which red did I use? I used it's called maroon perylene. It's a great question. I love this color. It's really a deep, dark maroon color. Here it is, this one, and mix that with a little burnt umber, and it just makes this wonderful, warm red, rusty brown color. Now, I've probably talked enough that I can come back in here and try to mix up a dark, not necessarily a black. I'm not really worried about that. My concern is I can't use just Payne's Gray, and maybe I can't use just neutral tint, but maybe those together. And if I have to darken it even a little further, I can drop in a little bit of the sepia in there. It'll warm it up a little bit, but I don't think the sepia is going to actually give it all that much color. And then we can use that probably as my dark color, that black color. We are shearing, so I'm cooking for them and making sausage rolls. Holy cow, you got a lot going on. You're shearing sheep. I'm assuming you're shearing sheep, plus you're trying to watch this, plus you're trying to cook for a farm full of people. You have a lot going on. All right, what I'm going to try to do here is put down a light wash of this color that we've just created. Whatever this color ends up being, we're going to work with it. Just need to paint around some of these cool tail lights. One of the things that really struck me about this painting was these really cool tail lights that are on here. So I wanted to really get them on here because they don't look like other tail lights. They're just so different than everything else. I thought they were neat. So I put them into my painting. Really, that's all there is to that. Sorry, I'm looking down. I probably should be looking up a little bit. Sherry is here. Welcome, Sherry. Good to see you. All right, probably got plenty of paint here already. I just need to smooth this around. I don't want this now. There's going to be a big rust spot right up there at the top. I don't want this this paint to get too dry over there. So I'm kind of being mindful to go back over my work on that side. Trying to be quick about this, but I'm not always really good at painting quickly. Maybe I should have chosen a slightly larger brush. I think we'll make this one work. There we go. And I want to dip into this wonderful rusty color. And I bet I can just put this right up here. And that should push a lot of this other color right out of the way. Just let it go right on there. I need to get a couple of paper towels ready to dab off a little water. I don't want to get so wet that it's going to leave a tide line there, but oh, you can see right there, yeah. And Natalie, you're out of here. Okay. Well, hopefully you can make it back soon. Thank you for stopping by when you can. Like I said, it's always nice to have you on the stream, and thanks for making the time. We will forge on without you. All right, so I've got this little bit painted up, and we can move on to the next little bit. And I kind of like painting cars because it gives you a lot of opportunity to paint in a small area, right? I can paint everything I want to on the trunk. And if I don't paint anything other than the trunk, that's okay. The colors are similar on each of the panels, but they're always a little different. So if I don't mix the color exactly the same for the next panel, totally fine. It's totally fine. It's one of the things I really like about painting cars and trucks, especially old ones, is that you kind of cheat a little bit, make up the rules about it as you go along. And since I've got this big puddle of paint here, I'm just gonna grab it and keep going with this I guess main body paint color here. It's really just a number of different colors that we've thrown together. And as we get into the next layer, if we need to adjust this, then you know what? We'll just adjust it and we'll change the color a little bit, and no big deal. Now I'm going around some of the chrome. I'm not going to go around the name of this car, which is a Coronet. I'm going to leave that as it is and paint over it. And if I paint over it and I get back to it, that'll be awesome. Right? That'll be great that we can get back to it and put the name on. I've got a cheating way. I've got the silver pen. We could just draw it on if we needed to. But if we never get back to it, I'm not going to worry about it too much. We'll just chalk it up to, maybe the owner took that color or took that bit of trim off of there, or I don't know, maybe it's been fixed at one point in time and the garage never put it back on. We can make up lots of stories about that. And nothing we have to worry about. A little bit of Payne's Gray, a little bit of neutral tint, just a touch of sepia in there. There's our main color, maybe a little bit more water over there. And we do have to be a little mindful of this trim piece. This is a pretty major trim piece. Trying to be a little bit careful as I go around that. Yes, I'm moving my paper quite a bit. Easier to move the paper than to move my hand. Right, coming up right around here, and down from there. I'm gonna flip this upside down. We lost a few people. We're down to 3 people. I always wonder, is it the subject I've chosen? Is there something else going on a Wednesday night that people are watching? It's always funny to me when I start the stream and there are people who are watching and people who are not watching the stream. They come and they go, and the numbers fluctuate, and they'll go up and down. But some weeks they'll go up and be up at a high number, and some weeks they go up and never reach a high number. And I'm always like, is it what I'm painting? Should I be painting something different than what I'm doing now? Is it me? I mean, could be me. Definitely could be me. But why such a fluctuation? Did I not let people know I was going to be on? Any or all of those reasons would be good reasons to miss. All right, I just put on a little bit more of that color. And you can see this kind of coming to life. We got a little bit of a background up here. I'm not really going to worry about it at the moment. We're going to put another layer on there, and we got a little bit over here. But it kind of adds a little bit to the painting, too. Kind of makes it kind of neat. I'm not going to worry too much about that. But now I need to figure out what I want to do down here. Right, what color could I paint all of that? Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to come over and I'm going to paint these trees. Because I can put these trees on, and then I can get rid of most of this green that's on my palette. And we can add another hole here for for a different color that we mix. Susie says, I got notification when you started. People are busy. People are busy. I get it. It's just a kind of a kind of a question. Just a I always can, because I'm doing it. I'm going to do it regardless. I'm always like, did I let people know at the right time? Did I pick a good topic? Is it something people would like to see? Why? What could I have done better? I guess just trying to figure it all out. Here I'm just dropping in some green for some trees here. And then I'm going to darken this up a bit. All right, let's get some darks in there. We can actually drop a little blue in there. I didn't mean to. I always, I don't know. I'm always cognizant about how much people are watching, and is it an effective thing to when I do it, how I do it. What should I be doing different to attract more people or whatnot? Let's see. I find Wednesdays can be busy, and I forget. One week I was so late I didn't bother to tell anyone he was here. I get that, and I don't. Yeah, I picked Wednesdays, not because it's a great day for anybody other than me. It just seemed to work out in my schedule that Wednesdays were going to work for me, and I know that that doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. My wife actually asked me at dinner this evening, "Why are you still doing it on Wednesday? Why don't you switch and do it on the weekend?" And I kind of went, "Well, I don't know. Maybe I should think about that." But I get it. I get it. People are busy. It's late in lots of places. It's early in some places. It's hard. I get it. I totally get that. Let's see. I'm just putting in a few sticks and twigs here in this tree in the back. Not that not that it needs much of anything. I don't know that we're going to do much of anything more with it than what we've got. I think that's probably plenty. You can't even see it. Let me hold it up so you can see. Just some color, some greens, some dark greens, a couple of sticks and twigs. That should help push that into the background. I might have gotten a little dark, but if we leave some of the trunk lid a little lighter, that'll help to bring it forward. Already, I'm seeing a different technique to painting a bush. Oh, you mean how I just kind of jump around and angle my brush a little bit here and there? I don't I don't know that I necessarily do the best job at painting trees and bushes. And I like sometimes if you can get it flat and do a bit of dry brushing, kind of you get some interesting shapes. But I'm not good at that. So I kind of just let my brush dance around and turn it a little bit, and knowing that I need to leave some gaps and some spaces in here. Maybe there's some individual leaves in there, and then I usually don't let it sit too long, and I'll come back in with a couple of darks here and there. Right, which way is the light's coming in? This way. Let's put some darks on this side of the leaves or on the branches, whatnot. Some more darks as we get down here. And then, because you have those open spaces, it's always nice to kind of fill those up with, a little something just to show. It doesn't even need to be a dark color. It can be the same color as the the greens, right? But just a few here and there. Maybe this comes down to a bit of a bigger trunk this way. This thing is really leaning. It's something really dark. There you go. And then all of a sudden you've got kind of a bush made. This one is leaning over. You wish you saw this before you painted some bushes today. Listen, I'm sure yours were fantastic. I've no doubt. I just throw mine together and, and hope for the best, really. But I try to get some shadows in there, and then and sometimes while it's wet, then it looks, like there's a little bit more motion in there or something. But you can do it dry too. And I've no doubt. Whatever bushes you painted look totally great. I have no doubt about that in my mind. All right, I'm going to paint this little panel down here. Still using a lot of that same color that we had. Let's see, this comes down here and over. And all the way over to here, and then there's one below this. There's that panel. And there's some, it's going to be, I'm just going to put some rust on here. It's not a whole lot of rust, but I think it needs some. Sherry, what did you paint today? If you were painting, if you were busily painting today, what did you paint? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious what other people paint. Let's see. Here's the other tail fin back there, and I'm going to put some rust on the top of that too. There we go. That'll help to warm that up a little bit. And we're starting to get a little rust here. An old barn. Oh, you painted an old barn. Oh, barns are fun. Barns are fun because they I don't know, they just have an old life to them. If you paint it in they look like they've been standing for centuries, and they have all these stories that they can tell. Let's see, I'm done with my green. Okay, so this is what I was going to do. I'm done with my green. I'm going to clean the green off my palette. All right, here we go. And now I can mix, throw that away, that's pretty dirty. Now I can mix in here a red that's going to go on the bottom down here. I'm going to start with Pyrrole red, this super bright red. I'm betting when this car was new, that red on there was pretty bright. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a bright color to start with. And then I'm going to dull that down a little bit. I found a picture I had saved and decided to paint it. Ooh, that's good. So you had a connection to it. That's even better. You can find pictures you have connections to. That always makes it nice. Ooh, look at that. It's a lovely color. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I'm not sure when I should be painting the chrome on this. How did it turn out, by the way? I'm sure it turned out fine. I'm sure it probably was lovely. Were you happy with it? I guess that's a better question. Were you happy with the way it turned out? That should always be the better question. Because while we like to paint and we like other people to like what we paint, in reality, we should paint the things that we like the way we like them to be. And then if we think we do a good job with it, other people will probably appreciate it also. I like the way this red is coming into be here. You can just imagine this car driving down the road in the, early 1960s, two-tone car, got the red on the bottom and the black on the top. It was probably the envy of everybody in the neighborhood. That would be so much fun. I think because I gave it some rust up there, I'm going to give it some rust down here too. But coming up through here, maybe down there a little bit. It's here and there, maybe. Different. I was doing some. I gotta move this before I look up, or I'll never get back to it. Okay, I like this. I like this. I think this is really looking nice. I was doing some line and wash. Okay, been trying urban sketching using the Tombow grayscale brushes. Oh, interesting. Doing some urban sketching. But you said you painted them from a picture, so you weren't out in the town doing it, but you were just doing it from some pictures you had taken previously. In my book, still counts. I do the same thing. I've got, at some point, I took it upon myself to paint well, every famous-ish building in my town. Not that they're famous-ish. And to go and sit down where the building is and to draw it and paint it takes a long time. it takes a takes a long time. So I did what you did, which is I took pictures of everything and redid it back in my studio. There we go. There's that. There's the side panel. Oh, it looks lovely. You know what? I have a little bit of a backwash down here that I don't want. Just starting. The way I can get rid of it is just to paint the whole thing over. I think on the black, I'm good with a little bit of a back run. I think on that red, maybe not. Oh, that is a interesting red. You like trying new techniques, trying to find your own style. That's cool. You'll find it. You will definitely find it. And even if it takes a while, you'll probably learn a lot about different styles. It's fun to try new things. Sometimes it's frustrating too, but it's totally fun. Uh, so many times to try new things, you never really know what you're going to get into, what you're going to find, or what you're good at until you give it a little gung ho. You think you're getting there, fantastic, fantastic. Are you liking doing the line and wash stuff? Line and wash, I tried line and wash, and it didn't work out quite so much for me. But it's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of. I wish I could do more of it. Just I don't know. It wasn't. If I had to say, well, it didn't work out for me because X, Y, or Z and or Z. I don't know that I could put a. I'm a, I'm a contributor. I hope that's a contributor in a good way. I certainly hope so. I just didn't quite. I don't know. It didn't resonate with me. More than it's anything else. I think I tried it. I enjoyed it. Just didn't work out quite so much. Like I said, it didn't quite resonate with me. The best part of my line and wash stuff was when I used to. Oh, you're getting good at freehand drawing with a pen. Oh, that's fantastic. The one thing I used to do, I used to take the bus into work in the morning, and I would sit on the bus and I would paint the people that sat across the aisleway from me. And so every morning I would, sit down on the bus, put my headphones on, open up a notebook, and start drawing whoever was already on the bus. And that was it was an interesting adventure. Let me just put it that way. I very much enjoyed it. I just didn't quite get the enjoyment out of it that I thought I was going to get. But I will say, it is a fun thing to do, and can be very expressive. I don't think though that I ever showed anybody on the bus what I was doing. You bet I learned a lot. I did learn a lot. I did learn a lot, and for a while, I had a what is it? Zebra pen, a fountain pen. I would do all of that with. Not zebra. Pilot? No, it wasn't a pilot. What was it? I still have it. I got about 6 or 7 fountain pens over there. I will say that fountain pens have reignited my love of writing. After using a fountain pen to do drawing with, you learn that a ballpoint pen is so unforgiving and so laborious to write with. The give in a fountain pen in the nib, it's just a kind of a wonderful thing. I love doing it. Oh, you know what I just realized? I did it again. I needed to paint the sky back there, back in there. Oh, what are you going to do? Hey, but look, I'm looking at this, and already without doing much more, it already looks kind of cool, right? I mean, just that shape, this big fin. If we get something cool on here, I think it's going to start looking pretty awesome. You just saw, I was getting good at freehand drawing with pen. Good. I just saw a new way to paint the brushes. Okay, cool. When I was a kid, all the cars looked like that. Looked like this. My dad had a car this color, really? Like two-tone red and black? I totally believe you, but that's cool. When I was growing up, my dad had to say, a K car. It was terrible. It was a horrible car. It was one you never ever wanted to have to get in. It was so terrible. And it didn't work half the time. And then we got the good car. Oh man. Put my hand right in there again. We got if anybody is old enough to remember the old Charlie's Angels TV show, oh, it was bronze with cream on top. That's nice. Charlie's Angels, Jacqueline Smith had a 76 Ford Mustang, beige, with a black Landau top, and it had a luggage rack on the back. And I don't know if my mother liked the show. I don't ever remember her watching the show. I don't know how the car ever got to our house in that color or in that specification or whatnot. But we had that same Mustang. I'm just going to say it that way. We had that car at my house. And that is what I learned to drive in. It was fantastic and horrible all at the same time. I love that car. I thought it was wonderful. Most of my friends thought I was crazy for thinking it was so wonderful, but I thought it was great. Okay, so I've got some color on here, right? This piece in here, basically the only thing we don't have colored in, well, this tire here, let's color in that tire right there, right? I'm going to use a little bit of this black for that. I was going to say the only thing we don't have in here is the chrome, basically. And when I'm done with putting in some color here, that's going to be true. Let's see, I'm going to just fill this in with black. Okay, so basically we've got chrome left, and then we're done with our first layer of wash. How about that? Sounds like a California car. It was not a California car. It was a Mustang in Ohio. Your daughter was born in the '76 Mustang. Oh my God. Yes, that was 1976 Mustang in Northeast Ohio. There were a few winters where it never made it out of the driveway. And by the end of, well, let's see, by the end of the 80s, I think all of the quarter panels had been replaced and some of the floorboards had been replaced. It had been rusted out and it was ready to find a new home, probably in the junkyard. But I remember learning how to change the brakes on that car, learning how to change the oil, all kinds of things. Going out into the barn with my dad and learning some simple, basic car maintenance. It was a wonderful car. It was quite simple. And because it was simple, we were able to do, quite a bit of work on it ourselves. And I drove the heck out of that car for a long, long time. So I will always have fond memories. Who can afford a Mustang today? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how much they are. I haven't looked at one in years and years and years. I would imagine they're pretty pricey. I'll say that also saying I think cars in general have gotten pretty pricey. I don't want to just blame the Mustang. I think they've all gotten really pricey. I've been driving my car, which I bought used. So you're going to put some rust back in here. I've been driving my car for 7 years now. And this little old car is one of the best cars I've ever had. No maintenance, cheap, easy to easy to maintain, cheap to run. I love it. I've got a little tiny electric car that I just use to go back and forth to work. I don't ask it to do anything it shouldn't do. And, oh, what was it? 2 years ago? 2 years ago when gas prices were really high everywhere. I had an electric car and I didn't have to worry about it. It was great. It was fine. It's a tiny little car. I like it, but it is just a tiny little car. All right, so got a little bit on here. You can see right there this light spot where it the quarter panel kind of kicks out over the wheel to provide what I'm going to assume is a little structural integrity to that quarter panel. So I just haven't painted that. I painted everything around that. It gives it some texture, some detail. We still got a little bit of rust up there. I think we're looking good with that. I'm going to actually start now over here. I'm going to do part of this, and a lot of this I'm going to get re-wet again. Oh, Dana is here. Hello, Dana. Okay, we're painting cars. Dana, what was your first car? What did you learn to drive in? We've switched from watercolor talk to car talk for a short amount of time. See, I'm just pre-wetting this because I want I want to get some of this rust up here, and I want to let it flow down a little bit. And then I want to let a little light color in here before I add in some of this dark. But I definitely want to get some of this dark color down over here, because it's going to make these taillights just pop off. Just absolutely going to make those pop off the page. Danny, you're holding out on us. We need to know what that car was. I didn't drive this car. I didn't drive anything like it. I just told everybody, I started in a 1976 Mustang, and it was wonderful. Car people don't like the old 76 Mustang. Said it's terrible, it didn't run well, it wasn't fast. Thought it was a wonderful, a wonderful old car. My first car was a 64 red Oldsmobile Cutlass. Wow, a Cutlass. Oh, man. That's awesome. So that was probably a really nice car, right? Cutlasses were nice cars back in the day. Color me jealous. I had some friends who had Cutlasses, and they were nice. I did have one friend that had a, God, what do you have, a 68 Mercury Zephyr? And, oops, am I still on screen? Yeah. And he was famous at my school for just absolutely driving it through snowdrifts. He would just drive it through anything in the winter. And I was always like, man, I don't know that this car is going to hold up. But somehow it held up enough to get him through high school. Somehow. In 1972, my first car was a 1965 Mercedes-Benz. Wow. 65 Benz. That was probably a big four-door car. I'm trying to think what cars Mercedes-Benz had out in 1964. But that's cool. And that 65 Mercedes Benz is probably still running today. I don't know, but I would imagine they were built to last. Those old Mercedes were. For sure, they were built to last. Let's see, there's maybe a little rust going on over here somewhere. On this side of that, right? And let's give a little rust down here a little bit. It was a small car. Oh, really? Had glass packs and I got speeding tickets in it. Oh, I'm trying to remember how many speeding tickets I've ever had. I haven't had very many. I shockingly, I haven't had very many. I remember, well, I drove a Corvette from Columbus, Ohio to Los Angeles, California, and it took, I won't say whether I was speeding or not, but it took just over 2 days. Almost 2,000 miles, and it took just over 2 days. Um, okay, there might have been a little speeding in it. That was cool. You were probably singing Janis Joplin songs. Police, I think police still like red cars. Oh, you know what? I'm so glad we can all take a little trip down memory lane. I haven't thought about that old Mustang of mine in a long, long time. It's fun to think back sometimes. And I had, at one point in time, I had an old 1965 Mustang. I was trying to fix it up. And I was driving back from college. And I was just trying to see what I could inch the speedo up to. And I think when I stopped trying that, I was just over 120 miles an hour. And I'm really glad that I stopped it because it was about 3 more miles down the road that I went past two state highway patrolmen. And I'm sure they would have thrown me right into the clink. They would have thrown me in a clink and thrown away the keys for doing 120 in a, I don't know what it, I guess it would have been a 65, 55 mile an hour zone. I don't know. I didn't always make the best decisions. Sometimes my judgment should have been questioned. I will be honest. There were some times. There were a few times. Lightning McQueen from the, yeah, Lightning reminds you of Mustangs. Yeah, what is he? He could be a Mustang, couldn't he? I don't know if he's. I wonder what they specifically wanted him to be. Let's see, this goes kind of. I kind of screwed that up a little bit. I think that'll be okay. I think it'll be okay that I messed up that tail line right there. Once I kind of got the second coat on here, I kind of got a little away from the exact lines that I was looking for, anyways. But I'm not going to worry about it. It looks, I love the fact that it's popping right off the page. I think that's wonderful. I am a bit concerned about this chrome piece that I have to paint on here. I will be honest with you. I'm a little concerned about that. He's a blend. Oh, he's a fictitious car. He's a blend. He's a blend of cars. Okay. What's the blend? Because it's funny because they definitely have other real cars in there. But Lightning isn't really a real car. Talking about him like he's a real person. um, but I can totally see some Mustang in there. See, this has got some rust coming down here. Maybe we'll give a little bit over there. I don't know. Oh, I don't. This isn't following how I thought it was going to go at all. But I'm totally happy with the way this is going. I can't tell you uh, how good I think this is turning out. So I'm going to put a little blue in here too. I'm painting the wheel well and the tire all in one. I'm not going to worry about what exactly is right with this. Right, it's a dark area right there. I just want to make sure it comes through as a dark area rather than worrying about, is this tire, is this something else. There we go. And I think I need a line on the inside of that. So let's do this, because my white wall has got to come in here somewhere, right? I don't know, something like that. That probably looks terrible. It'll be fine. McQueen is a stock car, right? He's a racing car. Okay, let's see. Let's mix up a little bit more of this. We don't need too much more, but we've got down here. Let's give that some rust down there too. Just drop some of this paint on. Oh, I really like the way this is starting to look. This panel is a little bit lighter. You know, maybe this one is painted a little differently or didn't get all of the UV, anti-UV coverant, I don't know what you call it, on there. It's got a little extra rust on that one. Oh, I like it. I like it. Now, I just noticed this. Normally, I would switch brushes 8 times as I'm doing this painting, and I've done the whole thing with this one brush. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I do see up here, so we've got to get some of this dark paint up here. Let's see. Okay, what else can we talk about? We'll get some of that Payne's Gray. There we go. I actually don't think I have seen cars in years and years. My son watched it, I don't know, like probably everybody else's son. He watched it about 6,000 times. When he was little, and which means I watched it about 6,000 times when he was little. And I think that's okay because it was a fun movie to watch. How am I going to do the chrome? Who asked the question? Sherry. How am I going to? No. Susie asked, how am I going to paint the chrome? That's a great question. And I will let you know when I figure it out. I typically will paint chrome with a mixture of Payne's Gray and turquoise. I think the mix of Payne's Gray and turquoise is a nice color. And if I need to alter it, I actually put a little bit of yellow into it, a cold yellow into it, and it just alters it a little bit, and I really like that. Now, Sherry, you're saying what brush is this? I've gone back to using these King Art brushes. Hope you can see that, King Art. These are the excuse me, 90-20 series of brushes, and I bought them in a pack. I think this was the largest one, a 16. And they went all the way down. Is this a 0? This is a 2. I think they went down to a 0. So 16 to 0. And you can see, this is a two, but it's almost the same. You can see basically the sizes of these. And all the ones that I've used, the bristles have turned dark, and all the ones that I haven't, the bristles have stayed gold and tackle on. Basically, what I did was I took the brushes and I broke them into two. I took the largest and the second largest and I separated them. And then I took the third largest and the fourth largest and separated them. So in essence, it's like I had two different packs of brushes. And what was I going to say after that? They look like good brush. It looks like a good brush. I really like them. I So I don't know where I saw the advertisement for them, but I saw an advertisement for them, and they were, I don't know, 60% off. The set was 60% off or some crazy deal like that. And I was like, well, I don't have any idea if they're going to be good or bad, but I'll take a flyer and see how they are. And I got them in and I tried them out, and I absolutely fell in love with them. I think they are I think they are wonderful brushes. If I had to ever, stick with one set of brushes again, I would be happy with these. I don't know that they're quite as nice as some of the other ones. Oh, Jen is here. Hello. I'm assuming you are on a break, your lunch break or something. Excuse me. Thank you for stopping by. It's always good to see you. Anybody who doesn't follow Jen, she's got a YouTube channel, Jen's Wild About Art. Did I get that right? I'll have to look it up. Here, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and I don't know. you must post one video or one short every day. You got some time off, so you're gonna hang out for the whole stream. That's fantastic. Let's see. Let's see if I can find. I'll put in the chat. Let's see. The link to Jen's channel. I gotta get to it. It is right. Come on. Where are you? I guess that's it. Copy and paste. Hope that goes. Did it go? There it is. So if you want to follow her, there it is. Everybody's saying the car's starting to look good. It's going to look better once I get some chrome on here, and I'm just gotta be brave and mix up some chrome, right? Okay, so I said that I like to use turquoise, which I have here. Let's get it a good amount. I don't know why I'm mixing it with such a small brush, but here's some turquoise. I love turquoise. If nobody uses turquoise, shame on you. It is here it is over here. It's such a lovely color, in my humble opinion. I'm going to mix that with a little bit of Payne's Gray, and it's going to dull it down. But it still seems to have like this luster to it. And if I don't like that, then I just add a little bit of yellow to it, believe it or not. And it gets kind of a metal-y. Let's see. Jen says, you were so kind of a... you have your daughter's hunting for a Bob Ross wig. Oh, my God. Yeah, let's do it. Bob Ross. So there, let's see. There's my chrome. Maybe I could use a little bit more blue in there. Let's see. That's probably a little bit better. I know it's not a real chrome. It's not a silver. It's not whatever. But I think it just pops a little bit. Um, Mix something else in there. I don't know. I'm probably going to use it like maybe a little darker. What do you think? A little darker, or a little lighter? It's got definitely a little darker, right? Anyway, I like to use that as a chrome. Would cobalt teal work with Payne's gray? Cobalt teal. Cobalt teal probably would. The only thing you might have to worry about with cobalt teal, and now do your own test because this is just kind of how I like to see the Payne's or my chrome. But you might want to watch because the cobalt teal might drop out. It might granulate a little bit. A lot of the cobalts granulate, and so if you want to see some pitting in some chrome, maybe it would be really good. If you are a little concerned about that, maybe hold off on that a little bit and find something that's not granulating like a cobalt color. Okay, and Natalie, you're saying I never would have thought to do chrome with turquoise. Um, you're, I would say, well, I think everybody should, but probably nobody in their right mind uses it, but 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 me to do chrome. It's a beautiful color to show the reflection of the sky on chrome. Oh yeah, okay, that could be true. So I'm just going to get some on here. And obviously I've dropped down into a much smaller brush. And you're going to see what my chrome looks like here for a first go round. Am I on screen? And sometimes I wander with my painting. Okay, so there's a bit of chrome, and if you, I don't think you can even see that part of the picture over there. Can you see that on the reference photo, the chrome here? No, I don't think you can. Okay, just give me a second and I'll paint this, and then I'll paint something, and you can do a comparison, and then you can tell me if it looks like chrome or not. In fact, I do this for a lot of metals, and sometimes I'll use these colors for glass too. I don't know. I think it's a really nice color that it makes. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Let's see. I've got Jen's website or Jen's YouTube channel up here. I've got to minimize that. Okay, so let me do this bit here, and then you can see what I like about these two colors as a bit of chrome. It's always funny to me. I can just jabber on and yammer away as long as I've got a big brush in my hand. Because I know that if I've got a big brush in my hand, I'm not doing any detail work. As soon as I get a little tiny brush in my hand, all of a sudden I clam up because I feel like I'm really trying to concentrate. All right, there you go. There's one. Here's the next one of these chrome pieces. And you can see you can kind of see the beauty of it there, right? it looks not the same, but it looks similar to that. The nice thing is you know, your eye picks it up and goes, oh, that's definitely not um, you know, like this painted piece behind it. Oh, that's definitely not that. And you'll just know instinctively that it's chrome. Right? So there needs to be a little bit of shading around here. There does to give that a little bit more detail, but um, I don't. I'd love to say, oh, you know, this is a you know a wonderful thing. Everybody should paint these colors. I don't know how I stumbled into it. To tell you the truth, this is part of the bumper here. I just know that I stumbled into these colors at some point, and I thought it kind of worked, and I you know I stayed with it. And if they don't work for you, that's okay. You could make a you could make a gray or try to make a silver, right? I think part of the issue is that silver is such a difficult watercolor color, right? How do you make a silver? What is silver? Silver is a gray, but then if you make a lighter gray, light gray just looks like a light gray, right? And probably you would, you know, it's a specialty kind of a thing. You'd probably buy a color to do just for that, and then you've got a color that's kind of a unitasker, and I don't know, like a lot of other colors you buy, unless you're buying Daniel Smith. They, if you just use them for one thing and they kind of look flat, then they're sometimes a little flat. And I think having this, it's probably too bright in reality for what I want, but I think it's okay. I think it works out. It definitely adds some attention to what you're doing, and because you have to mix it, you get quite a bit of variability in the color. Right as soon as this puddle runs out, I'm never, well, I mean, I can get pretty close to that, but I'm never in reality getting that color back again. And I don't know that I need to. I can get something that's close to it. So, wait, who we just asked the question before. Jen, you're the last one here. What was your first car? We've had a Cutlass. We've had a Mercedes, two-door Mercedes Benz. That was a ticket getter. That's the important part of the story right there. Oh man, I got a lot of green down there. It was a ticket getter, and what else have we had? I don't know. But what was your first car? If you don't mind sharing. Oh, there you go. 1972 Type 3 Volkswagen Fastback. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Um, Mine was, I'll reshare because mine was a strange car. If you ever watched, look, I got that green in there, and I don't think it really matters a little bit. That was your husband's first car too. This was light blue. Oh my God, it's a small world. Mine was a 1976 Ford Mustang. They didn't specifically sell it this way, but it was the same one that was on Charlie's Angels. And I'm still trying to figure out why it was a good idea to have a luggage rack on it. I should say it was a manual. Mine was a manual transmission. Did anybody else have a manual transmission? Let's see, my favorite ever when I hit 40, I bought one again and it restored. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome that you're able to get one and restore it. I bet it was a hoot. I look. I think that chrome. I think the chrome looks cool like that, right? It doesn't look like the reference photo. The reference photo is, I don't know. It's much more muted. This is much more lively. I think this is cool. Oh, yours is a manual too. That's awesome. I came out of work. This was during COVID. Came out of work one day and parked next to my car. This is the same car I have now. Was a I don't know, 19, I'm going to say like 82. I don't know the year of it exactly. Let's say like an 80 something, early 80 something Yamaha 100 Enduro motorcycle, orange and white. And that was the bike I grew up riding around. Oh, my backyard, the trails around the house. I saw that and I was like, oh. It was hilarious. VWs have a special place in your heart. I love that cars get into people's hearts. Natalie, your first car was a Plymouth Duster. Manual 3 on the tree up here. Oh my God. I tried to tell my kids what 3 on the tree meant. And they're like, I don't understand. What do you mean 3 on the tree? Doesn't make, what's the tree? I don't understand. With manpower, manual steering. Holy cow. All right, so now I've got a little bit darker mixture. I don't know that it necessarily needs to be a little bit darker mixture, but I'm going to use a little bit darker mixture to put on my low lights. And hopefully we'll see this kind of come to life a little bit. Let's see. It's going to come right down. I'll tell you the car I really want to. The steering. I'll tell you the car I really liked because, I mean, it was a horrible car. Right? There was nothing redeeming about the car at all, but it just had a bunch of memories for me. It was a 1985, and I know it was an 85. I bought it from my brother in the Navy. He was in the Navy and he was getting shipped out and he sold it to me. And I had the car for 4 years, 5 years. It was a 1985 Escort. I know it sounds like a terrible car and it's not a great car. But oh man, I could fit everything I owned in the back of that car. It had such room in there. Uh, that car moved me literally 4 times. I just packed everything I owned into that car, and drove the heck out of it. Your synchro mesh was gone, so it had to be finished. You had to heel and tow it and just match up the revs before you slid it into the next gear. Oh no, you're up here, right? Before you moved it into the next gear. I remember doing that. That old Escort of mine transported my buddies around everywhere in that old thing. And then I woke up one day and went to get in it, and while it was parked on the street, somebody had smashed into the side of it. It's not necessarily a sad story because I sold it. I sold it to the insurance company for more than I bought it for. I thought that was pretty good. All right, so you can see, look how cool that chrome is starting to look now that we're getting some color on there, right? And the blue on it, the blueness of it, really isn't as distracting as probably you thought it was going to be. Oh, your best friend had an Escort as kids. We went everywhere, and it was just one of those cars. You could get in and go everywhere. It got 30 miles to a gallon, so it didn't matter where you drove to. You could just take off and go wherever you wanted to. It was a great little car. It wasn't a great car. I don't want to say it was a great car. It was a horrible car, but because of what it did for me and my friends, it was a fantastic car, and I will always love it for that. It was wonderful. All right, so now I got to get the inside of some of these rings here. And this will start to give it some dimension, I hope. Right there, the inside of that, the inside of... Let's do it like that. Inside of those two, yeah, it was great. It's a fun memory car. Exactly. Oh, I can't tell you how happy you guys are making me thinking about these old cars. That's the way they should be. I don't know if anybody has ever watched Top Gear, and I'm not suggesting anybody go out and watch Top Gear, the old Top Gear with Jeremy Clarkson and whatnot. And yeah, those guys were kind of knuckleheads, and that's fine. That's what made the show kind of interesting, is that they did knuckleheadish stuff. But they always talked about in that show that cars get into your life and they help you make memories, and there's always going to be a time when you're thinking about those cars and what they've done for you and how you did whatever in them, the adventures you had in them, and whatnot. And he's right. When I think back on it, I'm like, oh man, these were some great times we had in these cars. I'm just trying to add a little bit of shadow here without getting too crazy about it. All right, that shadow comes down over there. There's one here that comes down a little bit over to there. So I'm to the point where I really want to start putting in some of those things that are going to make this pop off the page a little bit more. Right, there's a little bit of blue in that shadow. I'm not going to worry about it. There should be a little bit of blue in there. There should be a little bit of something in there. Let's just give this a little bit of color here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Oh, we got to do some color over here too, don't we? All right, the bottom of this will really make that stand out. And if I can do it kind of the bottoms here. That a little bit. We've got a little bit here. Come on, come on, come on. Go around the corner. Might be a little darker shadow than I wanted, but I think that's okay. Shadows are looking amazing. Shadows are getting there. Jen, I don't think anybody's ever said my shadows are amazing. I will settle for my shadows are acceptable. My shadows are always terrible. I don't. When I started learning watercolors, I hated shadows. I hated shadows. I'm not wild about shadows now. Hated them, and so I never practiced shadows, and as a result, my shadows always looked weird or a bit wonky and not quite right. And I still suffer from quite a bit of that. But I'm getting over it. Oh, I just looked. You know, I got to get this color here, whatever this color is. And look, there's a big shadow that comes up here, isn't there? Somebody should have told me this. It comes up here. This is all in shadow. And it kind of, some of this drops off over here. There we go. Oh, that actually helps. I don't know who mentioned that to me, but thank you. Shadows finished the work. You're walking today and really know. Yeah. I know. I know. I know. But you know, here's the counter argument to that. And you're all going to hate me for this, and that's okay. You're not going to hate me, but I have a difference of opinion. My opinion is that now, and I will preface this by saying this type of shadow is slightly different than I would normally worry about, right? I would always try to do some shadow on here. Totally fine, totally acceptable. Totally a good way to go. So much of my work has always been a piece set by itself, right? You know, if I want to paint a bird, I'm going to paint a bird. There's going to be a little bit of surrounding something, but I want the focus to be on the bird. And so if I put a shadow on the bird, anything that's not the bird, right? So the bird sits on a branch and I have to put a shadow down there. All of that potentially takes away from the look of the bird. And I don't necessarily want to do that, right? If I painted the hamburger, what did I paint recently? Didn't I paint something last week? I don't know what I painted. Oh, the pizza. I painted the pizza last week. I could have painted the pizza and had the pizza there by itself. And to me, that would have been fine because in my mind, it doesn't necessarily need a shadow. The pizza should stand on its own. But I'm living with the fact that maybe I wasn't right about that. I hate to admit it. Nah. But maybe I wasn't right about that. Maybe we needed the shadow on there. And so I'm making an effort to put shadows on everything. And speaking of which, I need to put a shadow. I need to get another layer of that red and put right along underneath here. And this is the red that I used up here, of which I have no more, so I'm going to make a little bit more. And it needs to go up there. I'm so funny. I, I don't want to be funny. I want to be. I don't know. I don't know. Shadows for a long time. Shadows have bothered me. Oh, I forgot to put chrome over here. And so I just didn't. I didn't do shadows. But I'm learning. I'll get there eventually. Possibly. That is not. I don't believe that's going to be quite dark enough. Let's get a little. Let's blue that down just a little bit. That's probably better. Can you guys see that shadow? I'll hold this up. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Oh yeah, you can see that. It does make that stand out a little bit. Next time you eat pizza, you're gonna no. All right, all right. Look, I got it right here. There's my pizza shadow right there. It just I never last long enough in cash. Oh man. uh let's see. Let's get some door. I'm just gonna paint. Oh, you're too much. Let's get some door handles on here. There they are. I need to let those dry just a bit while I'm doing that. I'm going to just try to doctor up the license plate just a bit. Let's see, some red on here. Some cobalt blue. Let's do the letters. I don't know what they are. Not trying to make it say anything specifically, but I just want something on there. I like the way this is looking. I think this is looking fantastic. I don't think I quite waited long enough on that one, but that's okay. All right, what do you think? Do I need to do anything else on this? I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited about this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little bit of this down here. So, whoops, come on, get off of there. So a little bit of dark that probably needs to be down there. It doesn't need to be a whole lot. There we go. Looks like it probably ought to be just a bit darker to match the rest of it. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. You should frame this one. It might go on the wall in my office. and I had the name written here, Coronet. I'm not even going to bother putting that on there. I think it came out really good without even having that there. I'm excited about this one. I'm going to sign my name. I'm not sure where I should sign it. I should have signed my name on the license plate. No, I don't want to put the coronet on the side. No, I can't do it. Let's see, I'm going to sign my name. Sign my name over here. I was going to. No, no, no. No, I have the silver pen that I was going to use to put it on there, and I'm afraid. I don't want to do it. No. Actually, where I had it written, you saw at the beginning, I had it written here. You can't even see where it's at now. It's not there. No, Sherry, no pressure. No, I'm not going to do it. And you know what? You know what would be the real problem with that? Is, actually, let's do this. If you look at the reference photo, right, even though the coronet is in a different color than the rest of the chrome, it looks like it's in gold for some reason there. I think that if I were to utilize this pen, it would be such a stark difference from the watercoloriness, if that's a word, of the look of the rest of this. It would be so different that it would take away from the painting. And I don't think I want to do that. Had this gone in a different direction, I might try it, but I don't think I'm going to do it. And I think I'm to the point where I want to start talking about the things that went well and the things that didn't go well, do a little self-critique on this. And if I have to start with that, I think what I would have done is, let me get a pointer here. I'm going to point with this. I think I would have made these a bit lighter. I think I got a little heavy-handed with these. If I make these lighter, that pushes them back a little further into the painting. And then I could have made a little extra dark here, which would have pulled this forward a little bit. And I think it just would have given the painting more dimension front to back. As it is, this looks a little close, and you know, it shortens it. I don't think it's a big thing, but I do think it shortens it. Some of the things I like here, I love the way the chrome turned out, right? If you saw on the reference photo, most of the chrome is in pretty good shape. This down here has a little pitting on it. These aren't really as smooth as they should be, but overall, I love the way the chrome look came out here, and the little bits of rust here and there, not overpowering, but you could see this car is set out in the sun for a long time. I'm so happy with this. And I actually like the fact that it sits lower on the painting. If you frame this, everything is supposed to look better framed, right? I frame this. It looks cool. The higher this goes, kind of, I think, the less interest there is to it. All right, this might not be the exact size frame you would use, but right, if this goes up here, that's kind of an interesting painting. If it comes down over here, I think you start to lose a little bit. It's still cool, right? And I think if I had done the entire wheel in the bottom of this, I think we lose a little bit. It comes up and we lose some of the sky. I'm totally happy with where I placed this on the page, and it worked almost exactly like I wanted to. At the beginning, we had a little back run over here. We might still have a little one. Looks like we've got a little over here, but it helps with the watercoloriness of the painting. Liza, hello. I see you you came a little late. That's fantastic. I'm glad you could make it anyways. I think this part here suffers a little bit from a little monotonality. I probably could have mixed a little bit more of that rust in here somewhere. I've got it underneath here, and it might get a little lost in just that shadow. I don't know. But the fact that this is so big and so pronounced, and this is so big and so pronounced, and it's got that, you know, that look that we all look for in watercolor paintings, it makes me totally happy. So I can't tell you how excited I am to have done this car justice. I would like to thank everybody for showing up. Oh my Lord, who is there? Liza, Natalie, Susie, Jennifer, Sherry. Who else is there? Must be some other people here. We had some people at the beginning. Susie is here. Did I say Susie? Dana was here. Everybody who was here, thank you so much for coming in. Carrie was here too. Thank you all for coming in and helping to make my Wednesday nights so enjoyable. I don't know what we're going to paint next week. I think maybe I'll put up a poll over the weekend and see what we want to paint. Before I do go, I do have a question. I want to extend what I'm doing here. I feel like I'm getting this under control. I want to do a little bit more, and I want to ask everybody where they think I should spend my time. Would you like to see more videos? Would you like to see things on Discord? Would you like to see updates to the webpage? Where do you think I should spend my time most? That would help you all out as you're learning watercolors. And while you're doing that, I just noticed something else that we need to do, and it's going to help with this painting. Always something. All right, watch this. Just noticed this. It's got to have a bit of a shadow on it here. Right? That light's got to have a little shadow. Jennifer is in for videos. Okay. And this has got to have a little shadow on there. I guess I forgot that. There we go. It's not a big thing, but it's enough that we can see that. There you go. Discord doesn't work well for me, it seems. Okay. Okay. Liza, you're a YouTuber. Okay, so maybe a second video, maybe another live stream, something like that. Okay. I'll see if I can't work that in. That's good feedback. And YouTube works best. Okay. Got it. Video, please. I got it. I hear it. That's good. I'm glad to know. Discord sucks. Okay. I was just going to tell you, I put up the reference photo for this on Discord, but now Discord sucks. I might take it down. No, I won't take it down. Anybody who wants to see this reference photo, you can find it on Discord. Links down below to all of my social media. I've got a couple things up for sale on Etsy right now. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what's up there. I'll see if I can work in a second video or a video, a live stream and a video, something like that. Liza, this is fabulous. Thank you. Jennifer, thank you. That's all I have for everybody this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you at least next Wednesday back here, 7:30 Pacific time. Until then, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.